Jason Swain, touchdown.
It's time for the Swain Event with your host, Jason Swain.
My man.
Real sports talk for the real sports fan.
All you chumps are gonna bow when I whoop him.
It's time for the Swain Event, fueled by Dead End Barbecue.
Give me 2 laps and a Ric Flair.
SwainEvent.com, fueled by Dead End Barbecue, top 100 barbecue restaurant in America. 865-255-03 is our telephone number. It's the great Ben McKee, making dreams come true over there at GoVols 247. I'm Jason Swain. Thank you for making Swain Event part of your morning. It is Thursday. It is December 21st. It is cold as all get out outside, but that's all good. We here right before Christmas. Hope you're having a great morning. Ben McKee, what's up, man?
The average Jason Swain.
Oh,
well, it's me versus whoever want to lose. Pick any of the who's.
Oh, man. Ben, we got any special commitments coming down before we end the show today? Since you are in the know.
Planned commitment podcast at the moment.
Ben?
Jason?
Signing day was yesterday.
It was.
Tennessee. Fill some needs. Fill some holes. There's still time to continue to do that. Your overall thoughts on the day yesterday? Not a lot of fireworks, man. And if you're looking for fireworks, if you're looking for surprises, you're probably in the wrong place. You're not gonna get those every single year. You may get 1 or 2. But your overall thoughts on what Tennessee was able to do yesterday?
I thought yesterday was a good day for Tennessee. It started with a bang. That was the most newsworthy item of the day, was when Jermod McCoy, the Oregon State corner transfer, committed to Tennessee. First thing in the morning, I believe just before 7 a.m. Eastern, he announced his commitment. And do not be fooled by the logo on the side of the helmet. I know a lot of people like to judge how good a player and team is based off of what the logo means historically. Jermod McCoy is a very, very good young corner prospect, and we talked about him on Tuesday. Picked Tennessee as a Texas native over schools like Oklahoma, Texas A&M. There's some other big schools in there trying to get him to campus to visit and get his services as well. So that's a huge commitment, Swain, and hard not to really like the talent that is in the corner room right now with him, Ricky Gibson, Jordan Matthew, Christian Conyer. And some others as well in that defensive back room as a whole. So that was the most newsworthy item, and it was a very important item because I really, really like Jermod McCoy. I think he has the chance to be really, really good for Tennessee for a couple of years. That's the big thing with him as well. Not a one-year rental. He has a couple of years of eligibility remaining, but a nice start for the day. And I thought it was a nice day overall for Tennessee. Kind of talked about it on Tuesday. Most of the hay was already in the barn. I think it's a good recruiting class with a lot of quality from top to bottom. I think there are a lot of big recruiting wins that happened early in the cycle that people are now forgetting because it was early in the cycle. And there have been some misses of late. Was not a perfect class by any means. I do think Tennessee over this next recruiting cycle does need to take a step forward and get better on the recruiting trail. But two things can be true at once. That can be true, that they do need to get a little bit better on the recruiting trail, take a step forward. But generally speaking, I think it's a good recruiting class with a lot of really quality, good football players coming in.
Good, not great. That's the truth. You're playing against Alabama. You're playing against Georgia. You want to beat Alabama. You want to beat Georgia. You're going to have to win more battles against those programs. It's not easy to do. You got to do it. Clemson found themselves winning some of those battles. Not all, but some. Ohio State found themselves winning some of those battles. All, but not some, but not all. And you're going to have to win some of those. You did it when you went out and you got a Henry To'o and a Kavaris Crouch and Darnell Wright and Wanye Morris. And I don't care about the rules then. You can do all those things now. And so you have to win those battles. The reason why you were able to win those battles is because you built relationships. You had a strong relationship with those players. Those players could have got that same bag and went to Alabama, went to Georgia, went to Ohio State, went to Michigan. Kavaris Crouch was about to go to Michigan. And so when the money is even, they're going to pick the place where they have the strongest relationship. So we can down Pruitt, his staff, or getting in trouble. But the fact of the matter is they had relationships with those guys, and those guys picked Tennessee. That's what you have to do if you want to beat Alabama and Georgia and Ohio State and Clemson and all of those guys in recruiting. But it is a good class. Don't get me wrong. It's a good class. Tennessee was able to address the pass rushing position. Jordan Ross and Ben. You know how I feel about ballers that come from the state of Alabama that don't pick Alabama, that don't pick Auburn. Because I'm one of those guys. That might be
your favorite type of recruit.
They're my favorite recruits. I'm from Huntsville. I didn't go to Alabama. I didn't go to Auburn. And so Jordan Ross is from Vestavia Hills in Birmingham, which is literally 45 minutes away from Tuscaloosa. I want to say it's 2 hours, maybe an hour and a half away from Auburn, somewhere around there. He didn't go to Auburn. So I got love for the number one player at his position, according to GoVols 247 or 247, in Jordan Ross. And so you need an edge rusher. You had to address rushing the passer. You had to address offensive line. Tennessee was able to do that, bringing in 5 players. You beat out programs that are right now currently playing in the college football playoff for Bennett Warren. Boo Carter is one of my favorite dudes in this class. He's explosive. You needed that. You needed more speed, more explosiveness in the back end. You did that with Boo Carter and Caleb Beasley. You went out and got the next Jalen Wright and Peyton Lewis, a guy that can run really, really fast in a straight line. And we saw Jalen Wright develop, hit the weight room. Shout out to Jerry Mack and what he's been able to do at the running back position. He has 2 running backs that's about to go pro. That's pretty good. We got to stop and think about this. Jerry Mack, 2 players going pro. Last year, Tennessee had a Blitnikoff and had 2 players going pro, and everyone wanted to say that wide receiver U was back. I know Jalen Wright didn't win the Doak Walker Award, but Jalen Wright was one of the best rushers in the country and led the country in yards per carry. And ain't a lot of talk about Jerry Mack, and it should be. So hats off to Jerry Mack in that running back room. And then you can't forget about Dylan Sampson, what he was able to do when he came in to the game. So
he'll be a pro next year.
He'll have the opportunity. Yeah, he'll have the opportunity. But Jamon McCoy, this is why we told folks to slow the hell down. just slow down a little bit. Did I offer some critiques? Yeah. I thought we need to do better in recruiting. Guess what? I still think we need to do better recruiting. Because I'm not thinking about beating Mississippi State, beating Arkansas. I want to beat Alabama. I want to beat Georgia. I want to be Georgia. I want to be Alabama. I want to recruit like those guys. So every year, I'm going to say we need to recruit better. So if you're someone, and we had this yesterday, I'm Josh and Swain, and they had to learn. It's my first time doing this. If you're going to say, well, Swain needs to not be negative, then you're going to have to just deal with it. Because I'm always going to say we got to recruit better unless we're number one. Like, I'm always going to say that. I'm going to say we need to recruit better. I want all the players. I want to be number one. But I understand you don't have to be number one to beat those teams, to win a lot of games. You just have to make sure that your hit rate is really, really, really good. Now, Jerron McCoy, this is why we told folks to kind of chill out. Looking for the right fit. Here's a guy that was a freshman All-American bid. He has 3 years left of eligibility. He's not a one-year rental. He's a 3-year guy. He's like you picking someone up from high school. He's like you went out and got a player from JUCO. This is a perfect fit for Tennessee. Like this a lot. All right, Swain Event, fueled by Dead End Barbecue. Swain Event app is free for Android, Apple devices. The Beatty Chevrolet text box. This is how you can send in text messages about Ben. Mean text messages. We prefer mean. Talk about his beard. Talk about that ugly sweatshirt. Where you get this sweatshirt from, man? It's kind of
whoa. You look, you can throw me under the tires, but we're not gonna throw you. We're not gonna throw the great J. Cole under the bus.
It's a pretty cool sweatshirt. Where you get it from?
With J. Cole's brand.
All right.
Dreamville. We're not gonna throw
cool.
Mr. Cole, Mr. Jermaine under the bus. I will not stand for that. You can slander me all day long. I'm sure Brian Hunsucker and Neela Mafia. I'm sure Alan PA will rise from the ashes to throw me under the bus. Probably throw my kid under the bus again too. But we're not gonna throw J. Cole, the great one, the great philosopher Jermaine, under the bus. You understand me?
Your hat's ugly. How about that?
I'll drive all the way into town and smack you up the back of the head for saying that about J. Cole.
You ain't got enough gas to get here, so shut up.
Yes, I do. I filled up yesterday.
And you're going to need all of it to get here because you live dang near Sevierville. Brian Hunsucker, what's up, man? What's up, Brian Hunsucker? I'm here. He says, signing day was yesterday, but what happened 2 days ago, Swain? You're not bumping those gums now. Keep John Morant's name out of your mouth. See?
Out your dadgum mouth.
This is why we can't have dialogue. Because y'all don't listen. You hard-headed and you don't listen. What was my beef about the Memphis Grizzlies?
You said John Morant was the most ignorant NBA player of all time.
I didn't say that.
You said he made the dumbest decision in the history of the NBA.
I don't think I said that, but it was pretty dumb.
You did not say that.
It's pretty dumb. It's a pretty dumb decision. Is that not true? It's true.
It's true.
I talked about how the Grizzlies as a whole let Dylan Brooks drop 20-plus points on them. That was my beat and ruined my parlay. That's what I was talking about. I had no problem with John Morant. I knew he was going to come on the court, come back. I knew he was going to ball out. But his decision was stupid. You know that.
It was stupid. It was very stupid. That's why he got suspended 25 games.
Yeah. All right.
But let's also not act like he's Brandon Miller or somebody.
Nah, you don't do that now. That's definitely a difference. It's definitely a difference, man. 100%. 865-255-03 is our telephone number. We'll hit the text box when we come back from our first break of the day. Florida Gators. Oh, boy.
Woo-wee. You want to talk about freaking out. Now that's when you should freak out right there. I even had Dan Mullen taking shots at him.
That's wrong, Dan. You know Florida's still paying you. I still got this Florida Gator sweatshirt over here from when I lost the bet to Chris Doran. And still got tags on it, man. I want to give it to a Gator fan. I'm tempted to text Chris Doran of SC Network and check on him. Check on him, see how he doing.
See, I have a couple of Florida buddies in my life. And I texted one yesterday. He might be listening right now. I texted him yesterday. I asked him, "You need any soup? You good?" And he thought I was actually asking if he wanted some soup. I was like, "No, man. I figured you were sick over what what's happening to Florida's recruiting class on signing day." And his first comment was about Florida still beating Tennessee and Knoxville this upcoming season. So it's a weird dynamic. Can Tennessee fans really pick on Florida because they have the ultimate trump card?
865-255-03. I'm going to break. Damn, you got us. You got to shut up. They didn't beat us, man. They beat us down. So we'll just shut up, man. Don't worry. We'll be talking again. We'll be talking again. Give us a couple weeks, man. Give us a couple months. We'll be talking again. We'll shut up right now, though. Swain Event, fueled by Dead End Barbecue. Be right back.
You're listening to the Swain Event.
You don't say.
Fueled by Dead End Barbecue.
Hey Knoxville, we all know the importance of mental health. Most people don't have regular mental health care. They often wait. Let's change that. Isn't it time we all consider our mental health as important as our physical health? If you are ready, Mind Body Wellness in Knoxville can help you design a plan for your mental wellness. We are accessible, affordable, and available. You are worth it. Visit mindbodyknoxville.com to schedule a mental wellness assessment today. When you are craving some quality barbecue, there's only one place to go: Dead End Barbecue. Dead End Barbecue has been featured on ESPN's Taste of the Town, the first barbecue restaurant on the SEC Network, CBS Sports, Headline News Tailgate Show, Amazon Prime's The Restaurant Comeback, Food Paradise, and named one of the top 100 barbecue restaurants in America. The search is over. Dead End Barbecue is located on 3621 Sutherland Avenue right here in Knoxville. You can even have it delivered right to your door through Chow Now. Visit their website at deadendbbq.com. Dead End Barbecue. The search is over.
Hey, Vol Nation. This is Charlie Pratt, financial representative with Modern Woodman and MWA Financial Services. Modern Woodman has been touching lives and securing futures for 140 years. Being born and raised here in East Tennessee, I'm honored to help East Tennesseans in all phases of life with retirement planning, investments, and life insurance. A big win on Saturday starts with preparation early in the week. A secure financial future starts with planning today. Contact my office today at 865-919-6468 to review your financial plan and make sure you are on track for success. As always, go Vols.
Registered representative and investment advisor, representative offering securities and advisory services through NWA Financial Services, Inc., a wholly owned subsidiary of Modern Woodman of America, member of FINCRA, SIPC.
Good morning, Swain Event family. Take a deep breath in and release. We're all back together in the AM and life is good. If you have real estate needs, just give me a call, Jennifer Morris, at 865-257-7897 or email me at jennifermorris865@gmail.com. And go Vols.
Just because you can't call in doesn't mean that you have to sit on the sideline. Impact the show with the text box. It's part of the free Swain Event app.
Yeah, your sweatshirt, it's pretty nice, man. I ain't gonna lie. It's pretty nice. But I stand on that hat. That hat's ugly.
How dare you?
865-255-03. I'm pretty sure all my Boston Red Sox fans and my Yankees, my Braves fans, Tampa Bay Rays fans, with all of
Those don't exist. Those are like Vanderbilt fans.
What did Vanderbilt do yesterday?
I do not know.
You don't know?
Nope.
Tennessee.
It doesn't matter what Vanderbilt did yesterday.
No, it doesn't matter.
I know what Jerry Stackhouse did the night before on Tuesday night.
They lost again, didn't they?
Yes, to Western Carolina, an average Western Carolina team, lost by a point, and then had the Vanderbilt fan tweeting out what has happened to historic Memorial Gymnasium.
Historic.
That's what I said. Historic.
Stop. Historic. I don't know about all that.
Got like 100 people that care about Vanderbilt athletics. Sit down and be quiet and take this SEC check. Nobody cares about you. Not even yourself.
Historic, huh?
You don't deserve Tim Corbin. Tim Corbin is too good for that athletic department.
He's in the perfect spot, too. He could be the guy.
Perfect spot.
Yeah, perfect spot. All right, Raleigh Vol says, checking in from Morrisville, North Carolina. Parents' house. Got y'all on the big screen downstairs. Hey, what's up? You can do that on YouTube, Twitter. You want to call it X, you want to call it X. I'm calling it Twitter because that's what your mama call you Twitter. I'm going to call you Twitter. So I'm calling it Twitter. You can pull us up on Facebook, whatever. We on Twitch, so it's like watching a TV show, man. You can do that. Swain Event TV on YouTube. We prefer that you subscribe. We appreciate that. Swinta Claus on the text box says, does Nico start the bowl game? Why y'all starting stuff? Why y'all? It's too close to Christmas for this. Ben, man, it's the holiday season.
A new phone. Who this?
It's the holiday season, man. Why y'all doing this to me?
Swain, answer the question.
It's a bowl game. Like in a couple of days, right? Now,
The bowl games have already started.
Yeah, I mean, they're starting practicing. Talia Tagovailoa, over there in Maryland, he opted out a couple of days ago. That was a weird look. He's the quarterback of Maryland, opted out. He's no Drake May. He's no Heisman Trophy winner, Caleb Williams.
He's no Tua.
He damn sure ain't no Tua. And he opted out. He's not going to play the bowl game. He's getting ready for the NFL draft. Oh, okay. We saw non-quarterbacks do the same thing. Dang near half of the Florida State football team opted out. Jay Verse, every reason to opt out. He did that. I just think it's too late for Joe to opt out. And I said this on 3HL yesterday with Don Davenport and Ron Slay. Shout out to my brothers and sisters out there in Nashville when they asked me about Joe Milton and Nico. Like, Joe's from Orlando, y'all. He's from Orlando. Y'all know how many bowl games there are out here? There's like 50 bowl games. There's all these different destinations. Joe Milton is from Orlando. The bowl game is in Orlando. You know he wants to show out in front of his family. And this is the same guy that when we beat Clemson last year in Miami said, I don't lose games in Florida. Now, the Gator game, the Florida Gator game, that don't count. What Joe meant to say, this is what he meant to say. He meant to say he doesn't lose bowl games in Florida. Bowl games. See, I fixed that for you, Joe. He doesn't lose bowl games in Florida. He's playing in Orlando, y'all. He's from Orlando. It's hard to expect him to opt out and not want to play. Do I want to see Nico? Yeah. We all want to see Nico. Like, you know how like Steph Curry when he shoots, threes and warm-ups and like there's a big old crowd there. They're like, oh my gosh, man, Steph Curry shooting. That's how I feel when I'm watching Nico throw the football. Like, I want to watch Nico. But you have to understand and respect that Joe Milton, if he wants to finish his career, which I don't understand why he would opt out at this point, why he would want to finish his career on the right note in front of his hometown, man. He's from Orlando, y'all. We can wait a little bit. I would love to see Nico in there with Joe, but we don't normally see that, y'all. We let the senior ride off into the sunset and finish the right way.
Okay, but that sounds all nice and
No.
and you're spot and you're spot on. But does Joe want to play?
I don't know. I don't have that answer.
So,
I think if he wants to
I'll
play,
be honest.
if he's playing, he wants to play. Why would he do something he don't want to do?
Well, duh, but I'm talking about as of December 21st, as of this Thursday morning, does he want to play?
He better want to play.
I don't think a final decision has been made, at least as of yesterday.
You know what? Maybe I should have showed up at the media day yesterday and done y'all's damn job. Maybe I should have asked Josh Heupel.
Yeah, you should have.
Because no question was asked about Joe Milton playing in a bowl game or if any players decided to opt out. Y'all so caught up in these recruits, asking him questions that he didn't even answer.
Somebody must not have been paying attention. Brent Hubbs asked him twice if his roster was set going into the bowl game, giving Josh Heupel an opportunity to bring up the quarterback position. And what was Swain?
Ben,
what did you text me yesterday?
Ben,
paraphrasing.
Ben. What did Hubbs text? What did Hubbs say? What was the question?
Hubbs asked if the roster was finalized going into the bowl game.
Who's the coach?
Josh Heupel.
Joshua Heupel. You think Joshua Heupel is going to offer up? Oh yeah. Let me take this vague question and give you some details about what we're gonna do at quarterback. No, you gotta pinpoint the question. You gotta ask him straight up. Yo, is the quarterback playing or not?
He would have sidestepped it.
Huh?
And he would not have given an answer.
Well, that's on him, but y'all didn't ask him a direct question.
That's very true. Touche. That is on all of us. I should have asked about Joe Milton instead of Cole Harrison. Or
Cole Harrison? What you asking about a freshman tight end from California that we know ain't gonna play year one?
I did not directly ask about Cole Harrison specifically. I asked him if he liked the state of the tight end room now that they've been able to add Holden Stays and Cole Harrison. If the scholarship numbers are in a better place after a little bit of a bumpy road to get there, is what I asked.
I thought you was a man of the people. I thought you were a man of the people.
So that was my second question. My first question was a question for the people. I asked if this offensive line class was going to be able to contribute to depth from day one.
Well, that's a good question.
And add some depth from day one. Now, I started over my words in the question, but I eventually got it out.
It's okay.
And Josh Heupel, I thought Josh Heupel is not very insightful typically with his answers.
No, he ain't giving you nothing.
He's not Tony Vitello. He's not Rick Barnes. He's not giving you much of anything.
No.
He'll be polite, and he may talk for a minute here and there, but he's not going to give you much within those answers. But I do think you could read in between the lines of his offensive line answer. He said he talked about it being a developmental position and that it's hard to play that position as a freshman. But they have seen, because a lot of those guys are already on campus. Offensive linemen are already on campus and working with the team and going through bowl practices. He did mention that they've already seen from those guys what they saw on film and when they were evaluating them, and he was pleased with that. And I thought that was a telling answer, that he liked where his freshman offensive line class was at. So I asked a question for the people, Swain. The tight end question was the very last question of the press conference, and it was my second question. So it's not like I prioritized asking about Cole Harrison, and I didn't only ask about Cole Harrison. I asked if he liked that the scholarship numbers were better in that room now.
Yeah, you about 500. That's still a 10-year, $700 million deal.
They gave me in the Hall of Fame.
You in the Hall of Fame? Yeah, no, that's pretty good. I mean, hey, if you were shooting threes, that's pretty good too. 50% from 3-point line, shooting like big ticket gains out there. But when you asked that question about the tight ends, I was like, man, I understand because there's literally nobody was in the room. Except for redshirt freshman.
I don't know if you know this, but it's a very important part of Josh Heupel's offense.
It is.
Now, look, Rashad Mendenhall, me being white, not playing football, maybe I'm not allowed to give my opinion on football in that manner.
Rashad Mendenhall, you embarrassed us all, bro. You embarrassed us all. I just want to let you know that, man. I got my white friends texting me. I'm having to explain what you want, what you meant. You put us in a bad spot, Rashad Mendenhall. Go sit down somewhere. Be quiet.
I am worried about our secondary. Very worried about us.
You talking about the Steelers?
Specifically, no, the all-white team. I'm worried about our cornerbacks. Our cornerback situation is is in a bad spot. I feel good about our
somewhere?
safety spot with Harrison Smith and Blankenship from the Eagles.
I'm not doing it.
But cornerback, I'm worried.
I'm not doing this.
I do know we will have a strong advantage in the kicking game. I do know that. Maybe not return game, but in terms of just kicking the ball, strong advantage.
D. Cody on the text box, the Beatty Chevrolet text box, BeattyChevrolet.com. Question for you both. Someone put out a blue chip percentage over the last 3 coaches. This year, Josh ranked at 62%. Was that put out as a blocker? Because this class is okay, but it's not great. We do need to do better. Just curious on y'all's thoughts. I don't really need a percentage rate on blue chip to know that we did a good job, but we need to do better. And I don't know why folks have such a problem with saying both statements. Like, it doesn't have to be black or white. It doesn't have to be great or terrible. You know how winners are programmed? Winners and champions, not saying I'm a champion or anything, but I like to think that I have somewhat of a winning mindset. Like, even when you're doing a good job, you always ask, could you do more? Could you be better? Because you're competing with yourself. That's what Alabama's doing. That's what Georgia's doing. Georgia, over the last couple of years, they've been number one in recruiting. The goal is to get as much talent as possible to win championship. Georgia has won the last 2. Georgia ain't winning 3. Georgia lost to Alabama in the SEC championship game. And they're not going to the playoff to even have a chance. You think Kirby Smart was like, you know what? We got a pretty good class. We okay. We good. We all right. Or do you think Kirby said, yo, we got to get a better recruiting class to make sure that we win that game against Alabama in the SEC championship game? Which phrase you think Kirby used?
We need to get better.
Somebody get KJ Bolden on the phone. We already have a top 5 class. We already have a top 3 class, number 2 class. But someone get the number 1 safety on the phone. He committed from the Atlanta area to Florida State. We need him. We need him to get us over the hump. And hell, they already at the hump. Talking about they want to get over the hump. They at the hump.
But they're already over the hump.
Well, not this year, but they at the hump and trying to get over the hump. But we over here in our feelings, fighting amongst each other. Oh, you a nigga. Oh, you a sunshine pumper. Oh, you ain't a real fan. Because someone said the recruiting class got to be better. It does. So what? It doesn't mean you don't like the players that you have. Doesn't mean you ain't a Tennessee fan. Doesn't mean you don't support Josh Heupel. Doesn't mean you're not going to drop your little money on the Vol Club each and every month, and it's going to help. It doesn't mean that there's something wrong with you. You just stating the obvious. It need to be better. Duh. Guess who else is saying that? Ohio State, Clemson, Texas, OU, Florida State, Texas A&M. Everybody who's not number 1 is saying, or should be saying, yo, this class got to be better. If we want to beat Georgia, it has to be better. If you ain't saying that, something wrong. So miss me.
Yep.
Miss me with trying to prop up a class that we know ain't Georgia's level, but we're trying to make everyone feel good. It's good, y'all. The class is good. It's good. But if you want to beat Georgia and Alabama, who you play every single year, everybody knows that it has to be better. So guess what you have to do? Go be better. You have a in-state crop in 2025, this class has an opportunity for Tennessee to do that. And I like Josh Heupel. I like Josh Heupel. But let's not sit here and pretend that the 2023 class, the 2024 class, is a 2015 and 2016 class. And I don't like Butch Jones.
Well, those classes didn't really do much.
But man, we're talking in hindsight, they didn't do much. But the class was talented. The coaching staff didn't do anything with that talent, but we're talking about the talent itself. The talent itself.
I get it. I get it.
Yeah. The talent itself says top 5 class. That was a talented class. Let's not pretend like those two classes are the same. They're not. But what you do have, Josh Heupel's advantage, he's a better coach.
And I don't. What do you remember off the top of your head? What those classes ranked? Were they top 5, top 7?
Top 5, yeah.
What was Tennessee's? Honestly, I didn't even look what Tennessee's recruiting class was at the end of yesterday on our site.
It's 11. It's 11.
It's a top 10 or just outside top 10, top 15 class, pretty much across the board. Correct?
Yeah.
Like if you were to add Holden Stays, Jermon McCoy, Jacoby Thomas, where would the class be at that point? Because you have to factor that into recruiting nowadays. Those guys are part of the class.
Yeah, you have to, for sure. It would be better.
Correct. I do think there is too much of an overreaction by some. Not that it's a consensus amongst the fan base, but I do think there's a little bit overreaction. I don't think that this class is getting the credit that it quite deserves. But with that being said, like you just said, it's not black or white. Like both things can be true at the same time. I really, really like this recruiting class. I really do. But I also don't know if it's a recruiting class that can get you over the hump against Alabama and Georgia. And technically, Tennessee's already, quote unquote, gotten you over the hump against Alabama because you did technically beat them once. But
man, you beat them once out of 3 years.
As I was about to finish saying,
go ahead.
How can you begin to beat them consistently?
There you go.
How can you begin to beat Georgia consistently? Yeah. Heck, how can you begin to beat Florida consistently? I don't know that this class from top to bottom, although I do really like it more than most, I don't know that it helps you beat those particular teams consistently. But let me ask you this, Wayne.
Okay.
Let me ask you this. Is that a realistic expectation? It's a desire and a want, but is it realistic to think that right now, with what Kirby Smart has going on, with what Nick Saban has going on, that Tennessee can recruit at that level or even potentially stack classes better than those teams? I don't know that that's a realistic expectation at the moment. I'd see, to me, the bigger
Georgia,
issue. What's that?
I mean, is it possible? Yeah, like it's possible, but like it ain't happening. Like it's not gonna happen on a consistent basis. It may happen 1 year, like the 1 year Hugh Freeze out recruited everybody. Like okay, that can happen. Tennessee in 2015. Go ahead.
Well, he was cheating to do it, and now those things are legal.
Yeah, that's why I said it because it don't even matter now.
Right.
But in 2015, Tennessee was second in the SEC. Second, only to Alabama. Tennessee was overall that year number 3, I want to say. And you look at 2016 and those years, because those guys were early enrollees and really, really talented. I mean, you had opportunities to beat Alabama. You beat Georgia. Like you got to recruit like that. If you want to catch up to Bama, Georgia, you got to recruit like that. Like this, there's no shortcuts. Like
But we just saw Tennessee beat Alabama without recruiting like that. So like I don't know that you have to have. My point is, see, my issue with this class isn't that they're, and I don't think that you're actually saying this, but the problem isn't that they're not number 1 or number 2 in the SEC. It's that they're 8th in the SEC.
Yeah.
If you can be like 4th or 5th, then, and we've had this before.
Yeah, we can work with that.
Because you had the coaching that can overcome that, like you did 2 years ago with Hendon Hooker. Because you did not have.
That's why I got to stop you, because you just asked me a question. You asked me a question. You mentioned Hendon Hooker. Do we understand how special Hendon was?
Mm-hmm.
We understand how special
Hendon in New York,
right? And so you had Darnell Wright, who Tennessee has not recruited a Darnell Wright at offensive line in 3 years. Okay.
Nope.
You got some really good players, but we're being transparent here. You have not recruited a Wanye Morris or a Darnell Wright yet. You have recruited a guy like Byron Young and James Pierce. He has the opportunity to do with Byron Young. We have not recruited a Jalen Hyatt type yet. Maybe Mike Matthews can be that, but I need to see him. I need to see him play a little bit.
When you say Jalen Hyatt, are you talking about what ended up being his production? Because technically they have signed in the last 2 classes now 3 top 100 receivers, and that's where Jalen was coming out of high school.
Yeah, I give you that. Okay, so we've signed a Jalen Hyatt type. Jalen Hyatt is a freshman, made big plays against Alabama as a freshman. Our freshmen have not played. Okay, that's the difference. Good catch by you. Who else drafted?
Tillman would fall into the Hyatt category.
Not yet. Have we drafted a recruited Tillman type? I don't know. Maybe, but don't know yet. So like
maybe Brew out of the portal.
Yeah, but I doubt it. Brew's coming off that pretty significant injury, so who knows how much he's going to be close to healthy. But here's the point. 2022 was special, man. Hendon was special. Now, Nico is supposed to be special. I think he is special. And so you put a lot on your quarterback. And I think we realize how special Hendon was based on where we are right now offensively. So can we expect Hendon type of performances at the quarterback position every single year? Not on an annual basis, but I think Nico, maybe next year, can have that type of performance. I mean, this offense is set up for a quarterback to go out and be successful and be in the Heisman Trophy running. One thing Heupel is going to do here, he's going to attract and get the top quarterbacks in the class. Like, he's going to do that. Did it with Nico. He's in position to do it with George McIntyre. Like, he's going to do that. So you're going to have a chance because of your offense and because of the quarterback and how a quarterback, man, if he's on his game, he can be damn near unstoppable. We saw that with Hendon when he's making correct reads, when he's running the offense properly. Like, we saw that. So, yeah, we did beat Alabama once out of those 3 years. But you asked the question, can you beat Alabama and Georgia consistently? You don't have to, because you have the college football playoff. But you may have to see one of those teams twice, and you may have to go through one of those teams to win it. And so when you do have to go through one of those teams, like Michigan has to do this year, if Michigan lose, they're going to say, dang, we lost that game. If coaching is the same, if execution is close to the same, they're going to say, we lost this game because of talent. We lost this game in recruiting. Like, it always goes back to that. It always does. So I'll reiterate my point, because I want people to get confused and start coming up with their own narrative. The class is good. The class is really good,
honestly.
Huh?
Really good, honestly.
Yeah, like the class is good. It's really good. I gave it a B. But because you play Alabama and Georgia every year, fair or unfair, and you have to beat those teams who are consistently in the top 5 in recruiting, it's not good enough to beat those teams on a consistent basis. If that's not fair, then I don't know what is.
Well, let me push back a little bit. I agree with what you are saying. I absolutely agree with what you were saying. But where I want to push back a little bit, I guess, is I think I'm a little more high on the recruiting class than you are, and kind of feels like most people, honestly. But I remember we had a conversation at some point this season. We both agreed, and you can correct me if I'm misremembering, but if Tennessee's around that top 10-ish range in recruiting, then it's possible that coaching can make up the rest of the difference. Do you feel like that's a fair thing to say?
Yeah, some cases. I don't expect it to happen every single year, but yeah, it made it up. It made it up into 2022.
And this is where I want to push back just a little bit. I don't want to make a mountain out of a molehill, but right now, according to 247, and as you and I both have said a million times, not that the recruiting rankings are the end all be all. Tennessee's 13. In the composite rankings, they're 11. They're kind of in the range that we have talked about, where you can still make up that ground through coaching and developing. And I mean, you even look at the teams behind them. Michigan, number 1 in the playoffs. Tennessee had the better recruiting class rankings-wise than Michigan does. Michigan's 15, Penn State's 14, Florida 16, A&M 17, USC 18. I mean, those are some big-time schools. Lane Kiffin, who everybody is drooling over right now, is 21. So, again, the class isn't perfect. There are tweaks that I believe need to be made on both sides of the football. I think you hit the nail on the head with your Darnell Wright comment. Like, Tennessee has this particular class is bringing in some good linemen, but they still haven't brought in that Darnell Wright, Wanye Morris type. There are things that need to be tweaked and adjustments that need to be made, but this is a really good recruiting class that Tennessee beat out Oklahoma and Michigan and Clemson and Texas A&M, Notre Dame, Georgia for Holden Stays. Like there's like Tennessee is winning their fair share of battles, and I think that's getting lost a little bit here because of Jaron Sensabaugh going to Missouri, and like Tennessee did drop the ball on that one. They tried to come in late and swoop him up, and it didn't work. Like you should not have been as late to the party as you were for him. I think, although it's Kentucky, I think it's silly to offer a Kentucky kid 2 weeks ago who's already committed to the in-state school and think that he's going to flip. Like, I think that's silly. You should have been a little more proactive. You should not have lost the recruiting battle to Roger Saliaponga. Like, there are absolutely things that need to be tweaked.
What are you saying, man?
I see this team getting better, and the overreaction seems to be a little bit too much of an overreaction for my liking. We'll see. I may end up looking dumb, but
it's good, but it has to be better. That's what you're saying.
I think they are recruiting in the range that they need to be recruiting. And again, my initial question was, is it realistic to expect them to have a better class than Alabama or Georgia? I do not think that is a realistic expectation.
Okay,
I do not think in the
true.
current college football setting that's possible.
Two things can be true. It's not realistic to think that you're going to out-recruit them. But Butch Jones recruited in the range of Alabama and Georgia in 2015 and in 2016 without NIL. And you have NIL now. So you don't have to out-recruit Alabama and Georgia to recruit in the range.
I think they're in the range. That's my overall thought.
Man.
That's where I think we differ. I think now they're teetering. They're barely in it, but I do think they are within the range. I do.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know how you can say 11 is in the range of 1.
11, and they've got a good portal class coming in.
Or
I mean, we both said
if you're
during the
eighth in the
season, if you're in that
SEC,
top 10ish range,
if
the
you're
coaching can make up the difference. Especially when you have a quarterback like Nico who's supposed to be uber special.
If you're eighth in the SEC and you're going to be a team who's first, because I don't really care about Michigan and Clemson. Tennessee plays Georgia and Alabama every year. No other team does that. And so, is it unfair?
We don't know that Tennessee's going to play Georgia every year.
Okay, well, we have been, and we doing it next year. So I can only go by what the schedule says, and we're doing it again next year. And so, because we play those teams, you have to prepare for the teams you play. Simple as that. So if we were not playing Alabama or Georgia, then recruiting players to beat them wouldn't be as important. But because we do play those guys, and they are top 5 in recruiting each and every year, we have to recruit players to be able to beat them. Now, you can lose to both of them and still get to the college football playoff, and somebody else beat them, and then you can beat that team that beat them and then be national champions. That's great. That would be ideal, right? But you can't really expect that to happen. You have to control what you can control, which is to go out there and say, all right, man, we gotta out-recruit them. We gotta recruit players that can beat them if we play them and not count on somebody else doing our job for us. So we can say the recruiting class is good, but if you're playing Alabama and Georgia every year, we can't sit here with a straight face and go, yeah, a top 15 class is good enough to expect to beat Alabama and Georgia consistently every year. Like, we can't do that, man.
I mean, it's a top 10 class. There's 7th out of 16 SEC teams, and Oklahoma and LSU, they're only ahead of Tennessee in the recruiting rankings because they have 7 more commitments. Man. So, like, in a sense, they're 5 out of 16. Like, to me, that's a really, really good place to be.
Man, the class is 11. That's top 15. It's not top 10.
It's 11 because there's some schools in front of them that have 7 more commitments.
It's 11.
It's a really good spot to be, to me.
It's 11. I don't care if you got 3 more, or 5 more, or 7 more.
Okay, but that factors into the rankings.
It's 11. It don't matter. It's 11.
That does matter. That's how the rankings are made.
It's 11. You're 11. Like, it don't matter how you got there. You're there. They got more players, so they have more options. Listen, Tennessee still be good, but if you want to beat Alabama and Georgia every year, or have a roster that can compete with them every year, not lose by multiple scores, then you got to recruit on their level. We can do the word gymnastics and try to lower the bar if we want to. It ain't gonna happen. Ain't no shortcut.
I'm not lowering the bar. I just think they're in a better spot than most people do.
Yeah, they are. It's good, but it ain't good enough to beat Alabama and Georgia on a consistent basis. Like, there's no arguing that.
I said that many times.
865-255-03. We'll go to the phones after this.
You're listening to the Swain Event.
And you know this, man.
Here in Knoxville, we love it when a squirrel's in the checkerboards. But when there's a squirrel in our attic, that's all sides. When that happens, call Alpha Wildlife. They're Knoxville's veteran-owned and operated wildlife removal company. When unwanted critters put their feet up on your coffee table, call 865-224-6555. Let the Tennessee fans at Alpha Wildlife evict those unwanted tenants and set your home up with a winning defense to keep that wildlife where it belongs. That's Alpha Wildlife at 865-224-6555. They have locations in Nashville, Memphis, Chattanooga, and in parts of South Carolina. Check them out online at alphawildlife.com.
What's up, fellas? It's Swain. When it comes to health, there are numbers every man needs to know, including your testosterone number. I recommend going to Low T Center. They make it quick and easy to get your levels checked, and it's only $25. You walk in, take a simple blood test, and with their on-site lab, you'll know your results in 25 minutes. Low testosterone levels can make you feel tired and grumpy, can cause lack of motivation and drive. It can raise your cholesterol, cause weight gain, and loss of muscle mass. Go to lowtcenter.com now to book your appointment. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare. Dead End Barbecue has you covered when you need the food to be on point for your next event. Go to deadendbbq.com to learn more or call 865-414-9417. Dead End Barbecue, the catering search is over.
Hey there, Swain Event crew. Just like fall sports, the Knoxville area real estate market is strong and growing stronger. We're an everything region. When you get the big orange itch to buy, sell, or invest, call me, Jennifer Morris with Keller Williams Realty at 865-257-7897 or email me at jennifermorris865@gmail.com. Go Vols!
Looking for a different way to enjoy the show?
Yes.
Then check out Swain Event TV on YouTube.
Let's get to the text. No, we get to the hotline this morning. 865-255-03 is our telephone number. Good morning.
Hey, this is Mike from Conyers.
What's up, Mike from Conyers?
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Oh, man. Loving the show. Enjoying it, as always.
I would appreciate you,
hey,
man.
Got a couple of... I appreciate you guys even more. Got a couple questions. One is just about a preferred walk-on that signed. I think his name was Harmon or something like that out of Knox Catholic.
Mm-hmm.
I guess he's a small guy, little speedster. He claims to have run a 4.37.
Yep.
I was wondering have you seen him play or what do you know about him?
I have not seen him play.
I
have not seen him play.
He's a receiver, so I thought maybe, okay, gotcha. If he has that kind of speed, I mean, I know they're going to give him a look in the return game. I mean, he might be a bit of a weapon there. He had over 1,000 yards receiving this year, I think, at Knox Catholic, so.
Yeah, I think he'll have opportunity to help the special teams, Mike. I don't see anybody being able to do what Boo Carter was. I mean, when I think of returner for the next 4 years, I think of Boo Carter.
Yep.
But hey, if anyone comes in and they're better in practice, then they deserve to be the returner. But anytime you can add speed, I don't care if they're a walk-on or not, you got to add speed.
Right.
And this team needed team speed. And so I know Harmon passed up on some college scholarships to be able to walk on at Tennessee. And so that's big time. But I don't know if you have anything to add on Harmon or not, but
I do not. I just know that he's very electrifying with the football in his hands and has a lot of speed, very dynamic speed. Maybe that can get him on the field. That certainly helps.
Have you seen him play, Ben?
I might have when he was younger and did not know it, but I did not see any Catholic games this past season.
Right. I think they didn't have a great season, but they actually had a pretty good run in the playoffs from what I read, and I think they eventually lost to Baylor, so no shame in that. But anyway, he might be a little someone we might sleep on, but might show up later.
I hope so, man.
Contributor.
I hope so. That'd be great. I love to see those local players come into the program and make plays. And Tennessee's, man, they got a little pipeline from Knox Catholic.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I also saw, and I can't remember the name of the player, big time recruit, might be a 4 or 5 star, who did not sign on signing day. He was already committed somewhere else, and now he's going to, I think, take some visits. I think Tennessee is one of the schools in the mix. I'm not sure if you know who I'm talking about, but
the 5-star defensive line commit.
Yeah.
McKinley Jackson, I believe is his name. He's a defensive lineman committed to Texas A&M.
Yeah,
that's who. Do you think we have a shot?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, for him to push his date back, that's great for Tennessee. It could also be great for another team too that's trying to get his services. But I think that is a good thing for Tennessee, because I think that's kind of where Tennessee fell a little bit short with this class. Good class, I'll reiterate, but interior defensive line, like that Shy Tuttle, Albert Haynesworth, that type of get, I think, is what this class is missing, because we know you got to win up front.
Yeah, could you imagine having Albert Hainsworth and Reggie White on the same? Anyway, one can dream.
Yeah, I know. We can dream. That's exactly what it would be.
John Henderson.
Yep, exactly.
Tennessee.
Dominic McKinley, not McKinley Jackson. McKinley Jackson currently plays
Dominic
for
McKinley,
A&M,
okay.
but Dominic McKinley.
Yeah. So, I mean, Ben, what do you think in terms of our prospects for adding a few more players? I mean, we've only got, 20 now or something like that?
21, I believe. There's not a ton in terms of high school players options to be brought in. Dominic McKinley, obviously now one of them, and I'm sure there's somebody who will pop up, or two people who will pop up over the next, I guess, month and a half to 2 months before the February signing day. But it seems like all eyes are on the transfer portal right now, still trying to get the Tulane receiver. And if you can add the Tulane receiver with a Mike Matthews and a Braylon Staley, that's a hard not to be impressed with that wide receiver trio coming in and adding to that room. So I think they're going to continue to look through the portal. There's certainly positions that they need to add at. I completely agree that they need to. Maybe not. I don't know need, because you do have veterans coming back and Bryson Easton and Elijah Simmons, and you do have a lot of guys coming back on the interior, so maybe not as much of a need. But in terms of the high school ranks, like Swain said, I do think that's where they are lacking in this class is that bona fide talent. They're in the middle. They've done a great job on the edge, but the true defensive lineman, I think if they could find somebody there, that'd be a perfect spot. But it seems like the transfer route is more the route to keep an eye on. Josh Heupel made the point yesterday in his press conference that Gabe Judy-Lally, Keenan Peely, and McCollin Castles were three guys that they brought in after spring practice last year. So in terms of adding people, I think it's more likely they do so through the portal over the next couple of months than the high school ranks.
Did Jordan Seaton sign his letter yesterday?
Nope.
Is he signed with Colorado?
There's a lot of buzz. Him in Maryland. Him going. He's from the DMV, from the DC area, and seems like there's a lot of buzz. Him staying home and going to Maryland. So who knows in that recruitment?
And thanks for the phone call, Mike. Man, it's good to hear from you. Yeah, Tennessee is still swinging at Seaton. From what I understand, Tennessee is also going to take a look at Evan Stewart. Be crazy not to. There's ties with Tennessee, with his family, and so he is the former 5-star receiver out of Texas A&M. So if you're able to get him and the Tulane receiver, Brazil, then watch out. It makes this group a whole lot better. And I got a chance to watch Brazil's working out, his workout film, him doing some footwork drills, training. I mean, the dude's 6'5.5" and got some nice feet. Got some nice feet for a guy that big. So he's a player that's going to have multiple years. That would be addressing the receiver room in a big way if Tennessee is able to get those two guys. You don't know what you're going to get with Brew McCoy coming back, coming off the significant injury. There's not a player in the room right now that says, all right, we got Tillman and Hyatt. We got explosive capabilities every time there's a passing play. So you got to bring those threats in or develop those threats. And right now, a little bit short on that.
You don't think Squirrel Dante have that potential?
No.
Okay.
Who's Tillman?
When I'm asked that, I was more so thinking Hyatt in my head.
Yeah,
Tillman, big body, Hyatt. In terms of Tillman, yeah, I mean they lack the big bodied receiver on the outside that can go up and get a jump ball.
No, we don't have two guys that match those two guys yet.
Which that's also saying quite a bit. It was the Bolitnikoff award winner, but that's what you're aspiring to be. I mean, that's the level of talent you need to go beat the Georgias and Alabamas of the world. Now, you did beat out Georgia for Mike Matthews, so that's nothing to scoff at.
Mm-hmm.
And Braylon Staley, top 100 receiver, who SEC teams did try to get in late with. Nathan Laycock, I mean, he was a borderline 5-star, if I remember correctly, his final recruiting ranking when he eventually signed with Tennessee. I did expect him to be further along as a freshman than he was. It's a huge offseason for him. So we'll see what happens. They need some of those. Like they do have young, exciting prospects, in my opinion, but they need to hurry up and get them developed and bridge that gap, it seems.
Yeah, that's why I say no. Because until I see it, then it's a no for me. It's a no for me, dog. Like Randy Jackson. You gotta see
the Brazel kid from Tulane, he's a bigger bodied perimeter receiver, correct?
Yep, 6'5.5". Mm-hmm.
Yep.
He'll be
and
playing on the outside.
And Tennessee would probably have interest in him anyways because he seems very talented. But that is something that they need, that body type in that room. They need that big, tall Justin Hunter type that can go up and catch a football.
Yeah. Now, A. Carter, 2212 on the Beatty Chevrolet text box says, then why aren't we hitting the portal harder? If Nico is as good as everyone claims he is, and we have him for 2 years, why does it feel like we are wasting the first year? I like this class, but unfortunately, it's what you have done for me now, league. Hey, Carter, I think this take is 100% off. The reason why I think this take is off is because how do you know that Tennessee's not hitting the portal hard? Because we didn't get commitments from the portal? I think Tennessee's doing a really good job identifying the right fits. We have to understand something. This is like the NFL right now with salary cap. Just because there's a good player in the portal doesn't mean that you're going to pay his asking price for a 1-year rental or a guy that may have some football character issues. For one player that wants one price, you may be able to get multiple players at the same price. I thought Tennessee did a damn good job with Holden Stays. I thought Tennessee did a damn good job with McCoy, the corner from Oregon State. I mean, those are well thought out strategic moves with guys that are talented. How many times are we going to see on NFL Draft Day a player drafted from a school that we think is inferior to Tennessee? Like, he got drafted over our guy? How many times did we do that? Zay Flowers over Jalen Hyatt? Boston College? Over our guy, Tennessee? The point is, if you're good, you're good. It doesn't matter where you're from. And you can go get a good guy from a school that you think is inferior to Tennessee, pay him a number that he is going to appreciate. It is probably 3-4 times more than what he's getting. He's happy. You happy. His football character is good. You don't have to worry about him taking the money and going, oh, you know what? I can't go today. I'm only at 95%. I don't know if I can go. I'm only at 90%. And then creates an issue in your locker room. I think Tennessee's doing a really good job in the portal. Ben, you just mentioned that, 3 or 4 guys that were contributors for us, we got after spring practice. There's guys entering the portal every day who are starters. So I don't think it's an accurate statement to say we're not hitting the portal hard. Like, we're hitting the portal hard, but we're being smart too with who we bring in.
Not just bringing in anybody and everybody because they've played at a former SEC school or had a high 4-star, 5-star coming out of high school. Just because they have a reputation, bringing them in.
Yeah, I think I like our approach with the portal. I know it sounds a lot better to go, hey, top recruits, we got cash over here. We flashing bills, y'all. Come on. You get $1 million. You get $1 billion. You get $1 million. Who wants $1 million? Who wants to come to Tennessee and get $1 million? Like, guys, that ain't realistic.
And that's dumb too, because then the recruits are gonna use that against you to drive up prices.
Yeah, it's real dumb
for their NIL NIL bag.
Let's go back to the phones. 865-255-03. Good morning.
Morning, Swain. This is Caleb. Just calling to tell you guys, Merry Christmas and everything. Had a question, man. I was listening to another program recently, and I don't know if you've heard the comments about what Chip Kelly did about possibly breaking away from the NCAA, the Power 5 conferences maybe, and kind of breaking away and doing a 64-team thing. And listen, I think the players deserve to get paid too. But with that, you would get like a regulation, and if they would share, like possibly those media rights with players, maybe it would stop it from becoming like this free agency that it is now. And I think the reason why the recruiting classes and stuff are so difficult now, it's like, it's not what it was, 5-10 years ago, where like, if you didn't have a top 5, top 10 recruiting class, you were kind of in trouble. And it's like, now, man, there's so many people transferring at different times. It's like, yeah, we didn't get a lot of sign-in the other day. I am concerned about a recruiting class, but I mean, I don't know, man. I just wanted to get your perspective of it because you played. What do you think about maybe breaking away from the NCAA? Maybe these conferences sharing that revenue with these players so it's more regulated. Maybe like a commission, almost like an NFLPA, but something kind of.
Yeah, I heard Chip Kelly's comments. Probably the best plan idea of any coach that I've heard. Football is different than all sports, and the quicker we realize that, the quicker we're able to come to a solution. Football is the reason why we made these moves. You have conference realignment and all these moving parts because of TV money. Life is not fair. So if you're trying to be fair to all the other sports, like, you're going to remain in this rut. But the moment you realize, like, okay, like we gotta do something, and we gotta treat football a little bit different. I think you do have a commissioner. You do have a way to make everything even, kind of like the NFL. I think our collective here at Tennessee is one of the most organized and funded collectives in the country. But the fact is, collectives are a target. They're a target. They Sankey and folks want collectives out of it. They want them out of it. They don't want collectives being GMs. And so they're trying to do everything in their power to minimize or weaken their impact. And I will see what happens. But yeah, I just want Tennessee to win, man. I don't really care how it happens.
I do too. Yeah,
I mean, I'm with you, man. I don't care. I don't care if you got to do it with a collective or we have to do it without a collective. Like, hey, man, I just want us to win.
I'm trying to get back to where we were, man. And I mean, I've called this show a couple times over the years. Y'all know I'm passionate and stuff about it. But man, it's just I'm trying to get back there too. But I did want to at least get your take because I don't know what at this point, and I think it was a couple weeks ago that I'd called. Maybe it was after the South Carolina game or during Texas A&M week. I can't remember, but we were kind of talking about like, man, like, it's not that we don't have great players. We got great players, but they're not the Hendon Hookers. They're not the Jalen Hyatt's or the Tillmans. And recruiting is such a massive thing right now. And it's like, man, right now, it's like, I mean, what was it? Tom Herman was talking about, like, a transfer for QBs like $1.5, $2 million in this NIL. And listen, man, I'm all about people getting money, and I know Tennessee has plenty of it. It's just like I'm trying to get there too. I'm just trying to figure out how do we do it to where like we're on at least somewhat of a, even playing field. I mean, we're a Power 5. You know, Tennessee's got a great history, awesome history, man. Like I'm born and bred, baptized in it. I love it, but I'm trying to win too, man. Like it was, I do. I'll get off here because I know y'all got other things, but yeah, I do like that we got the Citrus Bowl. I think that's good for the season that we had. And maybe it's a little early, but what we thinking about for next year, man? And I'll hang up and listen to it, man. Y'all have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year and everything.
Thank you, man. I know record predictions are fun conversation to have. There's no way I can give you a record prediction or tell you about next year. I don't even know. We got players still about to hit the portal from this team. Like we still got some departures on the way. Like that's happening. We got some arrivals on the way. So like I don't know right now. Let's get past spring and kind of get a look at what we're gonna see next year. Let's finish this year. We'll get to the text box after our last break here. Swain Event fueled by Dead End Barbecue, top 100 barbecue restaurant in America. Stay with us.
What's up, Swain Event family? It's great to be on board. This is Taylor Hawkins with Modern Woodman Fraternal Financial, and I have one question for you. When was the last time you have slowed down and evaluated your financial situation? Just like the Vols, a great game plan leads to victory. Let us help you achieve your financial goals with a custom-made game plan. No matter what stage of life you're in, protecting your family and hard-earned money is important. So let one of our local and trusted financial professionals secure your future by visiting one of our 10 branch offices across Tennessee, or give us a call locally at 865-312-5638. And remember, go Vols.
Registered representative and investment advisor. Representative offering securities and advisory services through NWA Financial Services, Inc., a wholly owned subsidiary of Modern Woodmen of America, member of FINCRA, SIPC.
Here in Knoxville, we love it when a squirrel's in the checkerboards. But when there's a squirrel in our attic, that's all sides. When that happens, call Alpha Wildlife. They're Knoxville's veteran-owned and operated wildlife removal company. When unwanted critters put their feet up on your coffee table, call 865-224-6555. Let the Tennessee fans at Alpha Wildlife evict those unwanted tenants and set your home up with a winning defense to keep that wildlife where it belongs. That's Alpha Wildlife at 865-224-6555. They have locations in Nashville, Memphis, Chattanooga, and in parts of South Carolina. Check them out online at alphawildlife.com.
We're here with Dr. Michael Carlson of Tennessee Regenerative Sports Medicine to discuss stem cell treatment and PRP. If you have orthopedic injuries, you should give them a call.
That's right, Jason. We specialize in regenerative non-surgical orthopedics. So we treat damaged tendons, ligaments, and joints by using ultrasound-guided injections with stem cells or PRP. And this form of treatment actually stimulates the body's own reparative process and allows for healing of the damaged tissue.
So, Doc, what makes your training different than others?
Well, Jason, I've been practicing in Knoxville for 26 years, and I'm certified in interventional regenerative orthopedic medicine through the American Academy of Orthopedic Medicine. At Tennessee Regenerative Sports Medicine, I'm the one doing the procedure, and we're using your own bone marrow stem cells or PRP. So in other words, it comes from you and it goes back to you. So you know exactly what you're getting and know exactly the level of training involved.
Tennessee Regenerative Sports Medicine, trsportsmedicine.com. East Tennessee's leader in PRP and stem cell therapy. When you are craving some quality barbecue, there's only one place to go. Dead End Barbecue. Dead End Barbecue has been featured on ESPN's Taste of the Town, the first barbecue restaurant on the SEC Network, CBS Sports, Headline News Tailgate Show, Amazon Prime's The Restaurant Comeback, Food Paradise, and named one of the top 100 barbecue restaurants.
The conversation doesn't stop when the show is over. Follow the Swain Event on Twitter and like the show on Facebook.
For sure. Ben McKee, Go Balls 247. For sure. Welcome back, Swain Event Fueled by Dan and Barbecue. Man, they give me a hard time on text box. Moose says, I can't believe y'all didn't ask Josh if Milton was playing in the ball game. I mean, I don't know.
A decision has not been made, and he would not have given an answer. I think that's why he was not asked. Yeah. Should have been asked in hindsight, but I think nobody was expecting for Josh Heupel to give a real answer, and that's why everybody decided to focus on signing day.
I think Hubs gave him opportunity to address that with his question, and Heupel chose not to. That's what I take from it. Earlier in the program, I was joking around about that situation, but after you've followed a coach, covered a coach for multiple years, you kind of know their tendencies. You get used to how they answer questions and how they decide to either duck it or dodge certain issues or address certain issues. So that was Heupel's opportunity, and he didn't take it. So Tenny R says, I wish you and Ben and your families a Merry Christmas, praying for a better year. Absolutely. Tenny, we definitely doing the same for you. We know you lost your mother in 2023, and I know this holiday is certainly going to be different for you. And, man, we putting our big orange arms around you, Tina. Nelson from Jackson says, our fans want us to do what Ole Miss is doing. Ole Miss is the only team doing what Ole Miss is doing. Maybe one thing, like everybody was doing what Ole Miss is doing, and Tennessee was like the only team not doing what Ole Miss is doing. Like Ole Miss is doing what they are doing, and no one knows if it's going to work or not. Like, how do we know that what he's doing is a winning formula? He's acquiring talent. And it's funny to me. And I like Lane Kiffin.
Go ahead.
I think people have issues with separating whether you like or dislike someone with whether or not you agree or disagree with that person. I like Lane Kiffin. Remember when Lane was the loudest voice when talking about NIL and transfer portal? He was complaining. They was giving him a platform like they gave Nick Saban. And Nick Saban deserves a platform because he's won championships 7 times. Lane Kiffin ain't won nothing. Ain't done nothing until this past year when he won 10 games again, finally proving that he can be a trustworthy coach and run a program. Lane is an unbelievable offensive mind. He is brilliant. Lane is just now proving that he can run a program efficiently. And kudos to him. He has been through a lot. He has made changes in his life. And I'm happy that he's done that. But y'all notice something about Lane Kiffin? He ain't complaining at all about transfer portal and NIL. Matter of fact, I don't hear a lot of coaches complaining about the transfer portal and NIL. Because you know why? They decided to play the game and just play the game better than everybody else. They ain't complaining about it anymore. That's what's going on. But that doesn't mean that the moves that Lane has made are going to be the right moves. Like, we know the number for Walter Nolan. Ole Miss really going to pay that number? You really going to pay that number, Ole Miss? Okay, cool. If you want to do that, that's cool. I'm not counting your pockets. But what are you going to do when a player who you've paid 7 figures to, or close to it, sprains an ankle, gets hurt, it's November, and they're like, yeah, I'm going to shut this thing down. I'm getting ready for the combine. what we gonna do then? Because everybody ain't built like Brock Purdy, not Brock Purdy, but Brock Bowers. Now everyone has the football character as Brock Bowers. Now everyone's gonna say, you know what, I'm gonna play through it. Somebody, and I'm pretty sure it's gonna be more than just somebody, will say, I got my money. I'm shutting it down, coach. I'm shutting it down. Because there's a bigger bag on the other side. That's the NFL. Like, what are you going to do then? And don't get me wrong, it can happen in Tennessee, it can happen in Ole Miss, it can happen to anybody. But wouldn't you feel better if it happened to a guy that you paid $200,000 to rather than $800,000 or $1 million to? We're going to find out if Lane's tactics worked. I think Deion Sanders last year did something that everybody wanted to do, but didn't. And Deion proved that, okay, you can improve your record by at least 3 games to be better. And I think you're seeing more coaches push players out like Deion. It's just not as flamboyant. So when you have someone like Lane Kiffin do something that, okay, not everyone else is doing, you sit back and watch and see, okay, is it going to work? If it works, you might see more people throw out bags like Ole Miss allegedly is doing right now. But let's wait and see that what he's doing is actually effective before people are like, oh, man, we should be doing what they doing. Well, we doing what they doing. How we know what they doing works?
And for those people, our transfer rankings at 247, Tennessee's average transfer that it is bringing in has a higher ranking than Ole Miss's average transfer. Now, it is a small sample size.
Put it on the table. That's what I'm talking about.
Well, I tried to use this example earlier, and you shut me down and told me to shut up, basically.
I didn't tell you to shut up. I didn't say such a thing.
But now it is a small sample size. Ole Miss is bringing in 10 players currently. Tennessee currently has 3 transfer commits. But Tennessee's average transfer ranking is slightly better than Ole Miss's average transfer ranking.
Brand, man, you're not trying to do this. You joking, right?
I'm saying Tennessee's bringing in really, really quality transfers.
I'm talking about the whole. I shut you down, told you shut up.
You said, Ben, shut the blank up and never speak again. If you do, I'm going to talk about Dylan Brooks and how he's the greatest basketball player in the history of the Houston Rockets organization.
Okay.
Also, 2 of the 10 players that Ole Miss is bringing in its portal, Tennessee fans were okay walking out the door.
Yep.
Particularly one of them that plays in the secondary.
Well, I thought Tamarion McDonald was one of the most, you can say his name, Ben, people ain't stupid. Was probably the most consistent player out of anybody else in the last couple of years. But hey, he won a bigger bag, and I hope he got that. And I like McDonald. And then, Tyler Barron has flirted with the transfer portal 2 or 3 times. And so, like...
which school, Swain?
Huh?
Which school?
What you talking about, Ben?
Oh, because the head coach of that school wanted to make some comments about Tennessee and their pursuit of tight end signee for Kentucky, Willie Rodriguez. Mark Stoops wanted to make some comments about teams throwing out money and tampering and messing with the recruits and throwing money at them. I thought it was real interesting. Mark Stoops had some comments for Tennessee, knowing what he's doing behind the scenes. I'm so tired of these college coaches being hypocrites, saying one thing publicly, trying to throw shade at other schools when they're doing the same exact thing behind the scenes. It's so annoying. That's my biggest pet peeve in college football right now. Eli Drinkwitz, Shane Beamer, Mark Stoops, they got all these petty little comments about other schools when they're doing the same thing.
Man, that might be your best point of the day.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
It's the best point of the day.
Go into Christmas with a bang.
That's your best point of the day, man. That point was money. That point was money. 100%, man. 100%. Yeah. Stoops and Morrow. Yeah, y'all chill out, man. There's people in the streets that know the truth. It's like, stop, man, stop. But yeah, Ole Miss was able to get 2 from Tennessee, and then Ole Miss been able to get the corner from Mississippi State. That's a good player. But Tennessee got a good player with 3 years. Ole Miss was able to go out and get Juice Wells. Well, there's some teams that said no thank you, Juice Wells. Georgia and Alabama said no thank you, Juice Wells. But said yes to the Vanderbilt receiver. Which receiver is better? Juice Wells. So, don't get lost in the sauce, folks. Don't get lost in the sauce. 865-255-03. Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical. Right now, ladies and gentlemen, and we do not have long because the end of the year is here. Hiller wants to make sure that every child experiences the joy of Christmas. They're donating $50 in toys to Toys for Tots with every tankless water heater purchase, giving away $250 Visa gift card with each unit. You can get a $500 Visa gift card when you buy select new HVAC systems or any whole home generator. Financing options are great with low monthly payments on these purchases. These deals are only available until the end of the year, scheduled today at happyhealer.com. And as always, happy you'll be, or the service is free. That is happyhealer.com. Ben, sir, looking at your setup, still the same house, same office.
I will say I feel a little bit better about having Ja Morant over my shoulder today than I had the last couple of months. So appreciate Ja for bringing attention to other happenings in his life. I do greatly appreciate that. The one on the bottom is a little awkward. That one does have Dylan Brooks in it, but that Slam magazine cover was a great cover, and I do not regret it. It still does have Desmond and Jaren in it, so we'll take it. But Jennifer is trying to help me relocate these photos, magazine covers, and my growl towel from the playoffs to a different house. And Jennifer today wanted me to pass along a Merry Christmas to everyone, and she hopes that everybody has a very, very Merry Christmas, and she thanks the listeners who have worked with her this year. And as I always say, she is the best. She will take the stress away of the moving process, the process of buying a home, process of selling a home, putting it on the market. She takes all the stress away. She is great at what she does. So if it's almost 2024, if you're about to be looking for a new house or new piece of real estate in the Knoxville area, please reach out to Jennifer Moore. She will take great care of you, and you will not regret it.
Yeah, man. You got a nice yard. I'm jealous of your yard. Nice size yard. But it's time for you to get.
It's all in the front.
It's time for you to move to Knoxville, man. It's time for you to move to Knoxville.
I don't know where I'll end up.
You need to be in Knoxville. Yeah.
I just don't want to be on the same street as you.
I hope you are. I'm gonna egg your house every day. I'm gonna roll your house, just like your in-law Auburn fans. I'm gonna roll your house just like that. Ooh, war. Hey, I forgot. I don't even know how to do the thing. I'm gonna roll your house just like your in-laws do at the Toombs Corner.
Well, I don't know how you'd be able to do that based off all the toilet paper you be using. I don't know how you'll have toilet paper left over to come roll my yard.
I'm gonna go to Sam's, load up. I'm gonna load up just for you. Just for you. 100%. You know what, man? You know what I hope you get for Christmas? I hope you get diarrhea for Christmas. That's what I hope you get some diarrhea for Christmas. All that stuff you've been talking today. No, I don't understand.
Well, I look forward to me being right and you being wrong. I know I think I've never been right a day in my life.
Well, we won't know, Ben, until like 2-3 years.
Good. That's how I like it.
2-3 years. We won't know if this class is good enough or not.
I'm standing on my business. This class is really good and not getting the respect it deserves. And you want to hear another fascinating aspect of this class, Swain? You triggered me again. You know the best part, Swain? The class isn't finalized. They can still add moving forward.
Listen, I never said the class was not good.
You said it was sorry.
No, I said it wasn't good enough.
You said it was terrible.
It wasn't good enough to beat Alabama and Georgia consistently.
You went T. Martin on Jalen Hurd is what you did.
No, I just said it wasn't good enough to beat Alabama and Georgia consistently. So I love somebody to try to argue that.
I said the same thing.
No, you didn't. You pushed back
multiple times.
You pushed back a little bit. I'm gonna push back a little bit. That's what you did.
I did, but it wasn't about the Alabama and Georgia part.
We stand on business, Josh. Eli,
yeah, and I can't wait after one of these shows. I'm here a year or two when I'm proven right. I'm gonna drive all the way into town to your house. I'm gonna walk up to you. I'm gonna do a drive-by handshake and say, "We stand on business, Jason."
Swain Event fueled by Day Barbecue. For Ben McKee of GoVols 247, I'm Jason Swain. Y'all have a blessed day. Peace and love. We out.